All right, so low MOQ and how it helped us at Obvi. We launched 26 low MOQ driven SKUs in 2021 alone. That's almost one every 2 weeks. We did $19 million in revenue last year. And one of the biggest pieces here is our MOQs range from 1,500 to 2,500 units maximum. And this is even after we have 250,000 customers acquired. Our turns on those inventory runs are anywhere between 24 hours to 14 days, right? That's the max amount of time it takes to sell out these. And our goal is we need to sell out as quick as possible, because then we're gonna go into what the next cycle of this is creating FOMO. For us, creating FOMO is the reason people are coming back and buying our supplements. For us to do these 26 launches at about 1,500 to 2,500 units, we invested a total of $500,000 across the year in inventory, right? So think about it. I only had to spend about $500,000, bring out 26 different SKUs, 26 reasons my customer would come back and purchase from me, right? And then lastly, what we're able to do with these is we're able to figure out what SKUs are worth restocking. So now what happens is when we create the cycle of FOMO, now we're going to find out how exciting the SKU is, and when we drop the restock, it often does even better than the initial launch. One of the cool things that we do, we're super data-driven, so we track every single launch by the hour, by the day. And one of the cool things that we saw, even though we did 26 launches, which maybe came to your guys' mind, is isn't that too much? Did your customers get tired? Was it just overly done? We noticed that each launch was an incremental more amount of revenue for us throughout the journey of the year last year. So it can be very powerful, and if you do it right and then you have it kind of strategically laid out, you won't create too much, what's the right word for it, saturation to your customer. $8 million of our revenue last year was driven through low MOQ launches and restocks. So out of that 19 million, $8 million came from the fact that we spent $500,000 to launch 26 SKUs. So you do the math, float your money, you can almost gamify this, right, for your own self. Onto the next talk, onto the key takeaway for this. Building your business around low MOQ suppliers. Even if your main product can't do it, come out with ancillary SKUs, secondary SKUs, where you can now start creating a pipeline for low MOQs. One of the biggest takeaways on this, on what it does for us, is low minimum order quantity SKUs gives us the ability to create more launches, increase our chance for retention, and lastly, give us the ability to increase our lifetime value. And I think the biggest piece to this is we're probably not going to stop this strategy. We're going to keep it going, keep it rolling, because the ideas of products you can come out with only get bigger as your customers get stickier. So next concept I'm going to jump into is a little bit of retention. So you want me back, why should I trust you? This is one of the biggest thoughts that are going through your customer's mind, right? When it comes to retention, don't expect it, do something to actually earn it. One of the things that we're constantly doing, even at this stage of our business, is we always question our business. What are we actually doing to retain our customers? Secondly, why didn't 100% of our customers come back? We always ask this because, yeah, statistics like 30%, 40%, they're great. That's all it is, it's a statistic. What you really need to figure out is, where was the drop-off? Where were the other 60%, 70% of people? Why wouldn't they come back? And then lastly, how easy are you actually making it for your customers to come back? And I'm going to jump into some of the ways that we focused on retention outside of obviously launching a lot of SKUs. And I think the biggest piece to keep in mind here is when you're thinking of retention, stop thinking of it again just as a percentage, but think about what about the people who aren't coming back, and truly wonder how you can retain them. Because the strategies you're putting in and implementing is already retaining the 30, 40, 20%, whatever your number is, right? So focus on the other part, and I'm going to jump into that now. So you guys probably know this dashboard. I know Pretty much everyone here uses Triple Whale, probably, but if not, check them out. So we sit at about 37%, this is last year's stats, in terms of retention. And what's important here is we focus on retention on two different ways. We look at it on the brand level and product level. I think retention has often been just accumulated into like, you know, you're accumulating and thinking about it as, oh, it's just retention, right? Let me do some email, let me do some SMS, let's get this customer back. But if you really boil it down and you break it down on a brand level and a product level, you can do two different strategies with retention alone. So let's jump to test one, which is brand level retention. What we did here was we built a community. I'm sure some of you may have heard of our Obvi community. We talk about it a lot. Ash and I are absolutely passionate about it. Happy to talk to you guys about it because we can talk about it all day. But I'm going to go into why we created it and how we created it. So the why of why we created it is we wanted to provide a channel to just educate people on our product and our company and our brand and us founders. We wanted to also over-communicate that. We wanted to be so attached to our customer where if a new customer comes in and they follow our proper funnel, there's a good chance we'll see them in the community within 24 hours, and Ash or I will probably be interacting with them. And I'm talking even 250,000 customers later and 51,000 members later in our community, we're still doing that. Lastly, we wanted to find an easy way to follow up with them and of course, ask them to buy, right, at some point. But we wanted to have that channel. And what I'm gonna jump into on the how we created it is it just started off as an idea. We had a purpose for it, and we aligned it to achieve objectives for our business. So here's how it started, super complicated. Ash had an idea one day, and he texted me. It was November 2019, I remember the day. He said, I wanna build a community so badly. And he's like, I just wanna, I wanna talk to people about recipes. I wanna teach them about our product. And I was like, man, I don't know, I don't know how we're gonna do this. But the next thing we did the next day was we went to Facebook, we clicked on the buttons that says create group. And it's pretty simple from there. From there, what we focus on at Obvi, and I think is an important takeaway, is anything that we choose to do, we go all in on. So when we said we're gonna do the community, we were gonna do the community. And that means it starts with funneling all your traffic, right? I'm not gonna go through every single one. You guys can probably see most of it, from pre-purchase, commenting on ads, on-site, et cetera, and all the way down to even your SMS flows. You wanna focus on bringing everyone in one place and go all in on it. I'm gonna jump into going a little bit deeper on a couple of the ways that we funnel traffic. So commenting on ads and remarketing and social, one of the things that we do is we use our Instagram account as a gateway to get people to the community. When people comment on certain ads or they comment on certain posts, we obviously answer the question. But the next thing we let them know is there is 45,000, I mean at that time it was 45, but we have 51,000 people that have similar vulnerabilities and questions as you. Why don't you come and join them? And when you tell people that they're going to join something that will actually show that other people have the same weakness or same question or same vulnerabilities, it makes people feel safe, right? That's what the community really is. It's a safe place. Another cool way, Ash, we're on this top of funnel, right? Yeah, so as you can see, I mean, it's been running since September 2021, and it's probably because he made an edit, but it's been running since literally 2019. We have just an ad that's telling people to come and join our community. We don't look at the ROAS on that. We don't look at the statistics on it. All we're doing is come and join this community and come and talk to us, right? There's other people there, and this is where we've tried to separate the idea of product and community. Yes, we sell product, and it's great product, but there's also a community element to all of this. Second part, call it out everywhere on your website. Whether you're looking on our navigation bar, or you're looking and scrolling around our website, or you're on the footer, anywhere you go on our website, even product pages, you will know that we have a community. It's up to you if you want to join, but you're gonna know, and it's gonna be in your face. And again, this is part of going all in. One of the questions that we often get is, when you guys built this community, how do people stay, and how do people stick around, and how do people keep coming in? The biggest piece to that is just keep consistency going. Next thing we did is being super authentic. 50,000 customers later and about 150 or 200,000 posts in that community later, we haven't deleted anything. We're super authentic with everything we do, and everything that we're providing has purpose and authenticity. I'll give you an example here. Someone who had a negative comment about one of our products got a lot of comments, has the snowball effect, right? People love seeing negative stuff and saying, me too. So once people had that, we used that as an opportunity to go and talk to them and say, hey, listen, if you have this issue, why don't you try this? Why don't you try it with water? Why don't you do this? If you still are having an issue, why don't you try one of our other products? We'll exchange it for you. And if you're still having an issue, don't be alarmed. We're going to return the product for you, right? What this does is kind of three-step fundamental process. First, it allows a post like this for others to see and feel, oh, I may run into a problem with this company, but they're probably going to do something about it, right? And you almost now when we see a negative post, it's not like, oh man, this is going to blow up. It's, oh wow, we're about to go and really engage with these people and blow this up in the right way. So again, keeping authenticity, it's easier said than done because it's hard to stomach the negative when you're in a process to be authentic. Providing value consistently. Till this day, this might be one of our few weeks off, but we're in the community going live every single week. What we're doing is we're running weekly giveaways, recipes, we're doing competitions, we're celebrating growth milestones together. When we hit our 150,000 customer, our community knew. Provide unlimited support. When we go live, we even talk about all the issues we're facing. We've been facing tons of back orders here and there because Ash figured out TikTok, and issues come up. But the biggest piece is using this platform as a place where you can show that you're raw, you're authentic, and you have issues too. It actually plays out with brand. It plays on the favor of brand equity. So we love doing that, and it's just part of our lifestyle, right? And for you guys that are brand owners, ingraining your brand into your lifestyle is one of the only ways you can do this. It's just the truth. You can't hire someone to do this. You can if you wanted to, but you still need to do it yourself first so you can teach that person. Step 5, we treat our community like a service. People crave positivity and accountability, so we show them multiple ways that they can get it. We went so deep that we created a landing page that literally says no purchase necessary, has nothing to do with our product. It is just about our community, what our community solves, how people are working with each other, what things are helping them. And what this does, and we actually even drive traffic to this landing page, but what this does is it allows people to disassociate your product for a second and say, there's more to this. There's a reason I need to stick around. Then we layer on some MOQ launches. Now you've given them the product to stick around for, right? So that's a really big piece to kind of building it. And the last piece I'll touch on this is help, and then help some more. When you're building a community, and if any of you have one or are looking to build one, there is going to be an immense amount of moments where you're going to be repeating yourself. People are going to ask the same question. And instead of feeling like, hey, this is kind of getting annoying, or I need to hire someone to do this, use it as an opportunity to show people that you're there. Ash and I decided that we're going to be the people that are front and center of our brand. You can obviously hire someone to be the face of your brand, but what I will say, as 2 South Asian males selling to 45-year-old women, I think we're breaking some barriers in saying, hey, there is no comfort zone in this. Again, going all in is super imperative. All right, back to retention on the top, right? We talked about brand retention and product retention and why both of them can really create 2 new strategies for you, right? So I'm going to jump into product level retention now. What we do with product level retention is we launch variations of the same parent SKU. Now, we're in a position to be able to do that, right? Because we have flavor on our side, right? And we have a product that allows for us to create almost unlimited variations. You may not be, and again, this may not apply to you, but what we do with that is we know if the people who are buying that one parent SKU, they're probably going to be willing to buy many more variations of this. So we use that as our almost top of funnel way to create more product. So I'll jump into some of the things we did. So the first product you see there on the top left, our cocoa cereal and fruity cereal, that's the products we launched with. And as time went on, we didn't change anything but the flavor. So every single label on the back is the same formula, but what changed is the flavor, right? And going back to my MOQ comment and building around that concept, we were able to basically use MOQ as a value prop for us. It takes long, right? You can't, we still took 2 years to get to this point, but what really helps us is we were able to launch these 20 flavors in 30 months and provide 20 different instances just with this one product for people to come back and purchase. And trying to, and I don't want to oversimplify the process, but it's also not overly complicated to find a good parent SKU that will have the ability to create variations. All right, so key takeaway here, communicate, right? When it comes to retention, communicating. We chose to do it through a community. You can do it multiple different ways, right? But communicating is one of the key starts to it. Second, ease of use. What we did is we built an app through TapCart, and now 11% of our sales comes through TapCart because people who are committed to buying, they want to be 2 steps away from buying. They don't want to load a landing page and click on an ad that's remarketing and going down that funnel. They literally know they need to buy Obvi, and within 2 clicks, they're there. So making it easy for your customer, again, connecting it back to that point. Lastly, innovation. Again, I know I touched on innovation and launching it very, very importantly, but some of you may not be able to apply that, but there is other ways you can apply it. One of the other things that we did for innovation is one of our most requested flavors was chocolate chip cookie collagen. So what we could have done is just launched chocolate chip cookie collagen, but we said, how can we take it a step further? Reached out to Entenmann's and said, let me license your flavoring. And what that turned into is one of our biggest launches ever. I think we were selling, it's like $1,000 a minute, right, when we launched. It was insane because we took innovation and we said, well, how can you go a step further? And if you think about the products you're working on, either on the agency side or products that you have as a brand owner, right, just think about, is there ways that you can innovate it further, right? Of course, variation of SKUs and launching SKUs can be one way, but even going deeper in SKUs you already have is another way. All right, I'm going to jump into some new hacks and AOV concepts that we've been doing. So I'm going to sound like a broken record because AOV and keeping churn rate, you guys have heard it, you guys have thought about it, and some of you are doing it great, some of you may not be. So I'm going to tell you what's working for us at Obvi. Cool. So average order value. Obviously, getting it up is the point, right? So what we did is we used something called a bundle builder. I know some of you are obviously familiar with this, but ours is an experience, and I would suggest you guys go check it out on our website. But point about the experiences is we tell people, hey, if you bundle three or more of our products, you'll get our biggest discount, right? They're never going to see that discount anywhere else, not even on a remarketing ad. But in this one place, they're going to see our largest discount. Now, how do we make it an experience? It's probably hard to see, but when people add 3 products, confetti comes flying down, pink confetti, right? We've literally now made this person feel like they just won a prize by spending money on our site. So, and I think that's the concept of seeing, how to think about things you're already doing, some of the best practices, and how can we go deeper with it, right? Second thing, free gift bar, right? Not a crazy new concept, but one thing that we did is called the endowed effect, right? We give free shipping right off the bat, but we don't just throw it on the top of the website in an announcement banner. We tell people they earned free shipping by putting 1 item in their cart, okay? Now you're gonna get them into the gamify mode, right? Oh shit, I just earned free shipping and I'm $25 away from another free gift, I have to buy it. We don't want them going too far to find that $25. Pretty much 2 inches under that is products under $30 to get them to the next bucket of free gift, right? and then our free gift bar is loading live as they're adding new gifts from the bottom. So the point of this is, again, some of us, and we did this too before we changed this, is we're giving things to our customers, but we're not letting them know that they possibly earned this, right? We call it out on our websites and ads, but we don't show it. We don't show the true value of it, right? We use CartHook, and CartHook works in a funny way, right? When you're first using that platform for the people who have, it's not as easy as, or it doesn't look as clean, it's not as easy to use. We took ours a step further. We actually designed the upsell to look like this. Most CartHook upsells don't look like this. But one of the key things that we do here is we don't try to upsell people on too many other products. What we upsell people on is the same product that they put in their cart first. The reason is they've already committed to buying something from your website. You don't want to go down the journey of re-educating, relearning. You just need to tell them that they need to buy more, right? So when someone buys the collagen burn from our website, they're getting an upsell for the collagen burn because all we need to do is make it price effective for them, and they've already decided that they want the product. So that's how we tackle upsells, and some quick hacks for average order value. So now I'm going to jump into how to keep churn low. We believe in this concept of ask and you shall receive. And we've I think over these last 3 years, we've heavily relied on type form. I know it doesn't sound crazy, it's just a form that you can create for surveying, but we've built our entire business off of surveying, right? Ash and I don't really know what these women want, these customers want, so we just ask them. One of the questions we asked, and we do one every quarter, where we basically ask people, what products do you want? What are you looking for next? What should Obvi come out with next? But the cool thing here is we actually bring it out, right? We don't just get data and say, all right, maybe we'll do something about it. Our most requested item was Obvi sample packets, so we launched it. Our second most requested product was a carb blocker. People love eating pasta but don't want the carbs, so we launched it. Our third most requested product was Obvi ready-to-drink beverages, so we launched it, right? We keep it simple. And again, finding the right manufacturers and who can give you the MOQ, tying it back to the front, is going to give you the ability to launch these things while still being able to run your business at a high capacity. Something else we ask is there a reason you haven't come back to purchase from Obvi? Is there a reason you left, right? And our number one response from thousands of people was price reduction. So we sent them a postcard, direct mail, 20% off, again, our largest discount code, and it did pretty well, about 2,300% ROI. By the way, not to go sidetrack, but if you aren't doing direct mail, you have to, and you have to use Postpilot. All right, another thing is, why aren't you enjoying Obvi? We literally just ask them, like, what's going on, right? Tell us, talk to us, and we'll try and create a solution. A lot of people said, I didn't know you can eat, drink, and bake with your product. I don't know any recipes. So we created the TapCart, we created our app on TapCart, and we put a section for just recipes for every single one of our products. So every single flavor has its own recipe. Now people, within one tap, have recipes at their hand. So before I jump into the last piece here with golden nuggets, I know I covered a lot, and I'm about to cover a lot more. So keep your pen and paper ready. But what I'll preface all this with is I have a deep passion in trying to help people avoid mistakes that I made, because back when we started the business, information, Twitter, all of these different platforms weren't as available as they are now. And so if you have questions, just ask. You can DM us, you can ask Ash or I, and we're here to help, because the biggest piece is we made a lot of mistakes, but we're able to think of creative solutions. And if you guys can use those creative solutions too, I think it'd be great. So jump into some golden nuggets right now. Stop chasing reward points and chase net 60 to 120-day offers on cards. Negative cash conversion cycle is better than a free flight. I know we all love the free flights and the free hotels, but getting runway for your business is fighting your burn rate. Don't forget about that. Outsource your 3PL. Managing overhead in this climate is a full-time job. You don't want to do it. There are experts handling it. Just give it to the expert. It's pretty simple. Hire fractional finance services. This might ruffle some feathers, and honestly, being an accountant, it put me out of a job too with this concept. But we use fully accountable. A CFO, controller, and bookkeeper for us costs the same as a financial analyst. Seriously, we pay $4,500 to get a bookkeeper, a controller, and a CFO, right? What this has done for us in these 3 years is given us the runway that we need with someone who's going to create a model officially for us, tell us how we're doing with cash flow, and honestly, help us through the cycle without having the overhead of 3 or 4 people on a finance stack internally. Cardhook for upsells, PostScript for SMS, Klaviyo for email, Narvar for post-purchase tracking, Octane AI for quizzes, Postpilot for direct mail, Recharge for subscription, Triple Whale for attribution and tracking. That's our tech stack. Parker for interest-free net 60, Brex for employee expense management, Upside financing for net 90 under 4% interest, Assembled Brands, Ampla or Wayflyer for traditional 12 to 14% APR line of credits, and then Plastic to pay your ACHs through credit cards. Plastic takes anywhere between 2.5% to 3%, depending on how much the charge is. Put all your ACHs through it. It's just worth it. You're going to get the benefit of a higher cycle, cash conversion cycle. Gusto for HR, Sin7 for CRM and ERP, Bill.com for your AP/AR, Afterpay for your buy now, pay later offering, Insurance Canopy for insuring CPG brands. This one's big. A lot of people don't really talk about insurance, or it's something in the background. Insurance Canopy actually is keeping an eye on your product and product lineup that's going out, tuned into your business to help with insurance claims. All right, so I know I went through a lot. Again, my biggest point here was I want to help. I want to be able to talk to you guys. Most recently, been able to be on MentorPass, and it's one of the coolest things I've done. I think I launched on MentorPass about 3 weeks ago, and I've been able to talk to about 20 people so far. And even just what I get to learn from that it's pretty incredible. The goal is that if we can copy paste some of the stuff that we're doing for other people, that's the point of this, right? That's the point of why we all meet here. It's the point of why we're at Geek Out. It's why we're on Twitter learning and consuming. But I want to help applying it too, right? You don't want to just consume it and not do anything with it. So please follow me on Twitter. I need to get to 10,000 followers because that's the only way Ash is going to respect me, because he has over 10,000 followers. So follow me on Twitter and follow me on LinkedIn. Super active on both places. Connect with me, talk with me, and again, thanks for this opportunity, guys.
Hey. I don't know if they're clapping to get the fuck out of here or clapping because it was good. That's pretty well done, dude. You do have extra slides.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm going to do an encore and just give you like a couple more. Because there's a couple, or at least out of the ones beneath this, the important stuff to talk about, do you want to just talk about some of the specific ones?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Cool. I'll
Nice.
go through it. All right. So I had some bonus material real quick if time allowed it. So I won't spend too much time on it, but one of the concepts here is it's not always what it seems. And right now, there's a big trust issue going on, right? With blended MER and NCAC, right? Which is new customer acquisition costs. Reporting is unreliable, and blended marketing efficiency ratio is not equivalent to new customer acquisition costs. One of the biggest things that we've started looking at is focusing on what is the cost to acquire a new customer, and not just looking at blended MER and going and scaling based on that. We've had many days where blended MER looked great, but our new customer acquisition cost was super high. If we had scaled based on that merit and looking at just blended MER, we probably would have been bankrupt by now. And it's important to understand the difference between these two. So MER is good to understand if you're profitable. It doesn't really understand, it doesn't really help you understand scale of your marketing. Because if your CAC is higher, if your new customer acquisition cost is higher and MER is good, you're going to have a burnout period. But if MER is good and new customer acquisition cost is bad, you'll have a burnout as well. But you'll have to focus on a lot of retention to get you into the right metrics. And And so one of the big pieces here is we focus on looking at our numbers both ways. Everything's based on our model that Fully Accountable created. So we're able to insert our new customer acquisition costs and what it's trailing out to be for that month, and we'll be able to see how many customers we're going to acquire, what that means to our model, and what we're going to turn out to be in terms of profit. So it's important to understand new customer acquisition costs because that's truly the metric that's going to run your actual model in terms of financial model. Yeah, the key takeaway is, again, dig deep to understand your data and use an attribution tool you can trust. Again, we use Triple Whale, and the focus for us has been how are we going to scale profitably. And if profit isn't on your guys' mind, if you have capital that you've raised and growth is, the argument can be a little bit different, right? You can look at maybe blended MERP, but I know for a lot of us, profitability is everything, cash flow is everything. So I wanted to touch, on that and how we kind of look at things. This is kind of what we pin as the most important pieces, right? NCPA is there, conversion rate's there, MER is there, ROAS is there, our sales are there. This is kind of your mini finance stack in terms of what you need to be looking at daily, hourly, even by the minute maybe. Yeah, that was that's what I had for the last piece.
Awesome, thank you. Any general questions off the top of the head that you guys want to run through? Coming to Sharma. Hey, catch real quick. Check. 5, I know. 5 hot, check. Do you have any questions, last week?
All right, so at this point, like 51,000 members, it's probably, it's not easy, but like the content probably creates itself in the group. The first 5,000 members or the first even 1,000 members, like what were you guys doing that kept it growing and kept it active? Do you currently have people dedicated to that on a daily basis?
Yeah.
And what type of people are they? What are they getting paid?
Yeah.
And tell us more about that.
Phenomenal question. Our first even 100 members, right? What we treated them as were going to be our predictable and future brand evangelists. So right away, what we did was we tapped into about 5 of the initial members that came on, and we said, hey, listen, we're going to want to grow this community, right? But we're also going to need help in helping moderate comments, helping moderate content that's coming in, helping answer questions. So one of the things we did right off the bat is those 5 people, till this day, are with us and moderating the community. They get lifetime free product from Obvi, right?
And these are past customers?
These are past customers, yes. The past customers and one of the first members in our community. So they get lifetime worth of free Obvi. Sometimes these people are ordering $200, $300 worth of product a month, but the point is they're spending sometimes 3-4 hours in the community answering questions and comments. And then the piece around why people continue to join and stay and grow is we've made it almost mandatory that every piece of innovation and pipeline of our product is going through there. So if you want to find out what we're launching next, it's only in the community. There's no email, there's no SMS, it's only in the community. If you want to find out what's going on with shipping, come to the community. If you want to find out what our newest launch is coming up, it's in the community. So there is this dire need where if you want to be close to us, that's the only place you're going to find us. And I think part of it is centralizing it in one place, right? Sometimes I think we do things like, oh, well, let's do an SMS blast campaign and then maybe do a Klaviyo email and maybe do this. And you should do those as supporting tactics, but everything's in our nucleus is through the community. Yeah. We're 100% on Facebook group. That's what works for us because our demographic is women over the ages of 35 all the way up to 50, 55. So for us, Facebook is that platform. But the other piece about Facebook that's important is they've created a super valuable experience with the community building there. They don't allow you to run ads. They don't allow you to run media or spam things. They allow you to create moderation and a lot of tools to help make the process very easy. What's up, Jim?
Hey, have you ever thought about running a lead magnet, kind of like an ebook kind of thing, into email opt-in, into Facebook group? Because I think like that's something that I'm doing right now, and it's like working wonders for me. You don't even have
How
to
are the people how are the people who are joining interacting in the group though?
So first of all, it's not for ecom, but it's for info,
Okay.
right? And it's kind of like a big group, kind of like Obvi, where people are just talking with each other and like problems, like solving problems, asking questions, you know, and when there's something or they have the need for something else, you know, it's kind of like, hey, you can book the agency, you can do this, you can do that. So have you ever thought about doing that?
No, I don't think we have, and I think it's a great point. But I think for us the biggest piece was we were never after kind of any vanity metric. So whether this group was 5,000 members, you know, at this state of our company, or if it's 2 million members, we want to have the treatment the same way. And so the quality of the member is super important for us because each person that comes in is pre-qualified through one of those strategies of funneling traffic where they know they're coming into a community and they know it's not about purchasing or making a sale. If they know they're about to show vulnerabilities, it's a safe place. They're going to talk to the founders. They're going to be in a place where they're going to interact. And I think if we went more the lead strategy, I think we can get probably a higher membership rate, but I don't know if the quality of interaction would be as high, but not something that we shouldn't test.
I think it's always dependent on the funnel and kind of product or value that you provide, right? Like what kind of angles you're driving. But okay, fair enough.
Fair. No,
Thank you.
fair.
This might be a baseball game conversation, but how did, in your words, 3 Southeast Asian dudes decide to go after collagen for women who are 45?
Yeah, love it. So we've been in the supplement space, right, for some time. So naturally, sticking to an industry you've learned the most for is there. However, within that, broken down, there's this shift, what we believe, there's a shift that's happening in the world of being healthy. And that shift is people are going away from wanting a 6-pack or an 8-pack and are going into, I want to feel good and I want to look good, right? I want to feel healthy. I want to wake up feeling good about myself. And when we saw that shift happening, right, you can see the shift happening where people are not looking at sports nutrition and sports nutrition like pre-workouts and whey protein. They're not looking at it the same that they were maybe 5-6 years ago. What categories like wellness and hair, skin, nails, and joints, those categories are naturally having a lot more involvement in the buying process for different customers. Even if you walk into Whole Foods, you can see collagen in the produce section, right? You can see it in 5 different entry points. So when we saw that people are shifting towards products that are going to make them feel good and look good, that's where we fell in love with the nutra-cosmetic industry, which is cosmetic benefits through nutrition, and collagen's a product leader within that industry.
Yeah. Gotcha. With the Facebook group, obviously there are a lot of Facebook groups who, you know, sell products. They may be successful, but a lot of times those groups die out. So for you, what do you see as either the fundamentals to have a successful Facebook group or kind of tactics to get interactions? Obviously you mentioned like, bringing and like sharing all the new product launches, interacting with the community. Is there anything else that's like tactical to use for interaction?
Yeah, I think for us the biggest piece is showing versatility through our product line. What we've really looked at it is at the end of the day, we're selling collagen, right? And it's a protein powder. But when you actually peel back and open the product, you can eat, drink, bake. There are people who make gnocchi with our unflavored collagen, right? So the level of what you can share and showing versatility of your product creates so much banter and chatter that people are almost like finding out just creative ways to use our product, right? That some of our products may say, hey, this is about weight loss, right? But some people are like, hey, it gives me energy. And now that creates a whole new way of thinking of our product. So I think one of the biggest things is the dynamics that we have within our community is so related to what our products can do or what other people have explored it can do. And I think that chatter, and one of the other cool things that I'll also comment on is we're not agnostic to our brand in our community. There are people who talk about other collagen brands. They'll talk about other products they stack our product with. There's reference to literally Lady Boss, let's say, which is, a competitor in the space. And we'll say, hey, that's great. If that's how it's working for you and that's how you're using it, stay authentic. And so when people see that it's not this super just Obvi-driven community, they're freer to share anything. There are people who have shared stuff like, we have a sexual health product called Lust, and they were able to get pregnant on it after literally 7 years, right? People shared that journey, and I think there's like 500 or 600 comments of just congratulations, and these are just strangers congratulating another stranger about one of their best moments in their life. And so there's so many more elements to this than just being attached to buy this product or do this because we're asking you.
Yeah, so I had a question in terms of like your merch game is so strong. How do you think of that in terms of like economics, sourcing, design? Like where's your headspace at in terms of like building in those costs?
Yeah, I actually wanted to put this as a slide. I didn't get a chance to, but we do everything through print on demand. It's a great question because it actually generates about $6,000 to $8,000 of revenue for us a month. And what's really cool about it is we own no inventory. I think we have like 50 SKUs on our merch, but we own zero inventory. Everything's marked up, right, from whatever the print on demand. And we work with one print on demand center in the US, not from New Zealand or using Printify. We use a separate program. And what it does for us is it gives us the ability to tell people that they can rock our brand, they can represent our brand, and we're going to give them multiple variations. Everything for us is variations, styles, and quantity, right? So with our print-on-demand partner, she's actually part of our community. She listens to people. Her name's Heather. And she listens to people, and people will be like, oh, man, I wish Obvi had socks. She goes and gets some supply of socks. She mocks up the design. She has back-end access to her Shopify store, loads up the product, goes in the community and says, I just dropped the socks, guys. And so what people, again, see is, wait, they're listening, right? But the ease of listening to bringing it to market for us, that part is easy too, because we gave people the ability to manage it, no cost to us. So keep your margin, make your margin work and take it from there. But yeah, great question.
So what's your vision for the company, like next 1 to 2 years? What's it ideally look like?
Yeah, it's a great question. So for us, our biggest piece was, obviously penetrating this kind of, you can call it nutracosmetic space in a very unique format, right? We focus on flavored collagen that's fun, exciting. What we want to do is now take a step further, right? What we did with Entenmann's, we want to do that across the line. If we're coming out with a hot chocolate flavor, I want to partner with Swiss Miss. If we're coming out with more cereal flavors, I want to partner with Kellogg's. And I want to elevate our brand to another level. And that's, I think, how we can go deeper in trying to provide that path to our customers. And then lastly, I think the biggest piece that we want to do is there's this idea around, incubating once you have kind of a template built, right? And incubating more. Our customers always keep asking us for more stuff. We have, basically through the community and our customer base, et cetera, something built out. What we want to do is maybe be able to explore further categories, but as separate sister brand options, and see if we can, go horizontal a little bit with brand expansion without creating too much dilution within Obvi. So that's kind of the next 1 to 3 years.
Yeah. First of all, it's just congrats on the success. It's pretty amazing. I'm over here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you.
No, just the authenticity about how much you guys care about your customers and what you're doing. My question is a little more tactical. You do a lot of like surprise and delight on the site with the upsells and the bundling and the confetti, and then you have this community. But on the retention side, are you getting really tactical with like VIP referrals? You said not really points, but are you doing like Rise or Loyalty Lion? How are you thinking about that, leveraging like data to do the same surprise and delight above and beyond what's kind of happening in this like special Facebook community?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So we use Yapo Smile, and that's our stack there. And one of the big pieces is our customers who have decided they're going to be lifers, right? We call them Obviholics. What they're basically have decided is, I'm going to keep buying from you, right? Whatever you drop, like we even launched a candle last year, right? In December, they bought it, right? They bought a candle. So the point is we have this, super power user group, right? And for them, rewards is such a big piece to it, right? Because for them, each purchase gives them runway for the next one. And our rewards program is very robust, 3 different tiers. But within each tier, there is a heavy, obviously, path for discount, but also access. I think access is one of the big pieces where, yes, obviously, community is where we'll announce things, but launching certain SKUs or launching certain products, these power users get it first. And what's really cool is within our community, some of these power users are our admins and moderators, right? Who get the lifetime of product for free. The point with that, what we do with them is we get them the product a week or 2 weeks before we even launch it. What they start doing is they test it, they talk about it, honest feedback, posting it everywhere. And I think what it creates is oh, I want to be one of those people. Like, how do I become someone that Obvi sends product to, right? So we kind of have multiple facets of how we are showcasing these people, but also giving them the path through, obviously, great products like Yapo and Smile.
Back to partnering with other brands in the future and elevating your own. Do you anticipate any type of misalignment with values with the partners that you may bring?
That's a great question. I don't think any of us have thought through it that far. The misalignment that I have thought about is, what if I partner with too many different, let's say, call these entities, right? And one day, if I want to sell to a strategic that is a competitor of one of these entities, that's what I thought about. I haven't thought about the social, economic, maybe piece to it, but definitely will be part of the process when we get there.
Anything else? Any other wisdom you want to bless us? No, I'm kind of like, cool. Round of applause. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.